Welcome, one and all, to another episode of R&D of Kappa and WallE. It is I, your favorite non-binary slime best friend on the internet, WallE. And with me, as always, is the person that said they can beat you, your mom, their sister, and their entire family in Halo Slayer Team Deathmatch, Kappa. Oh yeah, I heard you say it.
Halo 2 specifically.
Halo 2 specifically. It has to be specifically Halo 2.
Yeah. That's the one I think I was the best at. Once Halo 3 just got too complicated for me.
How does a deathmatch mode get complicated? You can't overcomplicate a deathmatch.
It's the weapon system, the health system. Like there's such little tiny tweaks from Halo 2 to Halo 3 that it was too much for me. Like yeah, it's like going from melee to brawl, you know.
I will have you know what? Yeah. I know what I would also compare it to going from brawl to or going from melee to Super Smash Brothers Wii U / DS. Specifically the DS one.
Smaphorish?
Smaphorish. You know this?
Smaphorish.
Yeah, Smaphorish. You know that one.
Who are we talking to today, WallE?
So today we have a dear friend of ours, Stellaluna. Stella. Applaud all around. Stella, how are you?
I am excellent. Thank you so much. I had a very comfortable, sweet morning. I rolled out of bed and immediately opened my favorite comfy farming sim game.
Oh my gosh.
Sipping my coffee.
I did the exact opposite. I woke up and then loaded up into Monster Hunter Wilds and fought dragons.
God. Okay, well, the new release just came out. So.
Yeah, that's true.
No, yes, that is very fair. And Kappa, I did the same thing too. Yeah. I woke up at like 6 a.m. and I have nothing to do for a couple of hours. Time to hunt a giant dragon snake.
Yeah.
Did you also have the experience where when a new monster drops in Monster Hunter, you essentially waste 20 minutes of your life in chunks where, you have randoms coming in and for some reason they are just playing like they've never played before?
Yeah.
Game over. And they just knock out those what do you call them, carts?
Yeah,
you get carted 3 times.
Yes. So oh my gosh, it's hard for the pub life in Monster Hunter Wilds now is kind of rough, but at the same time a little bit rewarding. I feel like
because then you feel good about yourself being better than everyone else.
I'm so good at this game. I don't die immediately.
The thing about Monster Hunter Wilds, and I guess Monster Hunter and other games similar to how Capcom runs it is, there isn't enough like content in between, so people drop off and they forget how to play the game, and then they're like, I am really good at this game. I can pop in, fight the new thing immediately without warming up, and then they end up in your public lobby and in your thing, and that's how the 3 cards happen in the first 6 minutes.
I think I think my worst experience for me is in kind of the opposite, is that I'll do an arch-tempered hunt because I love hunting arch-tempered. That gives me that good rush. So I know I'm going to get some like seasoned hunters in it. I even put in when I'm searching for seasoned hunters. I like looking for high-level hunts. But the problem is I get all the speedrunners in my hunts.
Oh, and then you feel bad about yourself.
Yes, and I feel terrible because I am not here.
Optimal.
Yeah, I know. Not now. Hold on. Now hold on, Kappa. We're not gonna insult my builds on this podcast.
I said the O word and
okay. I worked hard on my builds. I'm just saying is that it feels weird going into with the speed runners because the hunt goes by too fast, and I love the fight. I go in for the fight. So when the fight goes by too fast and I'm like, well, that was great. I'll call you back later or something. You want me to put you on my
You didn't finish is what happened there.
Yes, exactly. They finished and I didn't, and I felt dissatisfied. I did not feel satisfied with the overall experience.
So sorry, WallE. So that was your morning.
That was the morning. But we were so glad that you're here because you are someone who is in the TTRPG space, specifically the actual play space, that just radiates this very how can I put this? Welcoming, all-inclusive feel of a big hug. Is that a good way to
I
describe
think
it?
I think when you say you say big hug, I think home cooked meal is the vibe that Stella gives off.
Yes, the vibe of I just came home from a long day of 6th grade, and I hear Toonami playing in the living room.
Yeah, that's all
And
Stella.
mom has a grilled cheese sandwich waiting for me. That's Stella.
That's so funny you say that, because that was definitely my childhood. Like, literally, I just come home from school, and you know what would be playing? Dragon Ball Z. Do you know why I watched a ton of Dragon Ball Z? Because Sailor Moon was on after.
Yes.
So I put up with a lot of it's just so I could watch my girly pop Japanese queens and
Oh my gosh.
space aliens, sometimes spice aliens.
Sometimes
Yeah.
spice aliens.
Spice aliens,
Yeah.
yes. I think I
What
got
a
lucky.
1-2 combo for us.
Yeah, that
Like,
is a 1-2 combo. For me, it was the opposite because I had Sailor Moon in the morning and Dragon Ball Z in the afternoon. So when before school, I was watching Sailor Moon, and then after school is Dragon Ball Z for me.
I had to borrow my Sailor Moon and my Dragon Ball Z from the library. Yeah, we didn't get that channel growing up, and so I was late to it, and I bought, like, all my anime and stuff came from the library, and I watched the Saiyan saga and the Space Tree saga, you know, from Sailor Moon. The World Tree?
That was the adaptation of the no, that was the first part of R, I think.
Something like that,
I
yeah.
think that was
But
the
yeah,
first
I
part of
watched
R, yeah.
those things endlessly because those are the only ones that they had at the library, and me and my sister, we borrowed it over and over and over again. Yeah.
That's so cute.
That is adorable. Just little Kappa going into the library every week, just going, hey, excuse me, do you have the latest edition of Sailor Moon?
Pulling on the librarian's coat. Excuse me. Hello.
WallE's impression of young me is like, excuse me, hello, I would appreciate
grown man voice.
Well, look at you. Look at you now. Sounding like you have 4 IRAs and a 401k.
4 IRAs. Oh man. Thank you so much.
What a compliment.
I need people.
You sound
I
like
need
you
to
have savings.
Oh,
you sound like you have future planning.
No.
Sound like you bought a house and made smart decisions with it.
I only sound like that. That is so far from reality. Do you know how old I am? Do you know how old we are?
We're not. That's forbidden knowledge.
That's
We don't
forbidden
talk about
fruit.
That is forbidden lore.
Throw that
The thing
away.
is, we're people of color. You're never gonna guess our age.
I'm 18.
I am 22.
I've been 25 for more than 5 years.
I believe it.
I believe it. I totally believe that 100%.
I like to think that our generation is just very youthful in spirit.
Yeah. I think that is, in general, the overall vibe of the people that we all surround ourselves with in general are just very youthful in spirit.
Our folks know how to find joy.
Yes.
And keep it.
Yes, that's very true.
Pokemon.
And you do that very much with
so
your...
much Pokemon.
Are you playing Stella, I'm wondering, are you playing Pokemon Pocket? Have you been playing Pokemon Pocket or Pokemon Go?
I have no idea what. Oh, not Pokemon Go. I'm not sure what
You have
Pokemon.
TCG Pocket.
Pokemon Pocket. That's the TCG one. Okay.
Yeah. You know the Pocket Dopamine Rush?
Oh, I
Yeah,
downloaded
there it
it.
is.
I opened it and I was like, "Ooh, this is dangerous." I uninstalled it.
It is
Okay.
so dangerous.
Yes.
It is
Yeah,
so...
that's
Me
fair.
and Kappa, we were deep into it when it first came out, that we were yelling at each other about the polls we were making.
I still am.
I know.
I got the Moonbreon.
The day we both pulled Charizard was a glorious day.
Oh man, yeah.
It's a very addictive thing in general, like the TCG, because it's basically just the rush you get from opening packs. It's not a game. It's just the rush, right? You know? And that's all you really want at the end of the day.
Dopamine. Yeah.
They put a little tiny game in there to kind of like, justify it, but no, yeah.
Just don't buy the gold. Just don't spend real money on it. Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't be like me. don't be like me. Don't
WallE's a cautionary
be
tale.
like me. Okay, don't be like me.
So Stella, I mean, you're pretty well known, but just in case, I mean, I want to hear from like, what do you do? In your words, I want to hear what you do.
Ooh, yes. Hi, I'm Stellaluna. I do TTRPG stuff. I'm primarily a producer. I find great joy in putting together tables and just kind of like catering the whole experience, facilitating it as much as I can. Uh, a lot of us in this space, we wear very many hats, and I am one of those people. I absolutely love bringing people together. I love trying to set everyone up for success. I'll touch more about that in a little bit
Yeah.
of the like
Mhm.
the you say home cooked feeling. That is very intentional,
Yes.
and there's a lot of work that goes into that. But I like you mentioned, like I love being a good host, and that's kind of the way that I look at my games and everything that I get involved into. I just want to bring people together and tell some cool stories.
I love that so
The
much.
way you say it feels like you've been doing this a long time, and I mean
Yeah.
that's true, right? As long as I've been in the space, I
You know
feel like
what?
you were already
Yeah.
around, like doing stuff.
I feel like as long as I've been around in this space, it feels like you've been that constant figure in it.
Oh my
Like kind of
gosh,
like there,
thank
you know, just
you.
like a little like floaty thing, just like flying by the background
I'm
kind
the
of thing.
Korean grandma in the background. Come on, have some kimchi and throw some dice. No. I've been doing this about 6 years now, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
I think something that is also real like up there and kind of lends itself to how you describe it is you also provide a lot of first-time players and a lot of people who are just dipping their toes into the space and giving them just the right amount of tools, the right amount of resources, starting things off right, because at least that's what it was like for me. I want to know, you know, how that started, how you got into it, you know.
Yeah. First time TTRPG enjoyers are my absolute favorite people. I suppose it comes from just a place of I've been playing TTRPGs my whole life. When I was 10 years old, my dad sat me down during the Satanic Panic and said, Stella, your mother's not home, so we're going to play Dungeons and Dragons.
See, that's unfair. I was the opposite. My mom was like hardcore making me listen to things and watch things during the Satanic Panic, going, yeah, listen, you're not going to touch any of this stuff at all.
Yeah, this was a woo, wow, what an experience that was. I will say my first time playing any kind of game was Dungeons and Dragons 3.5 edition.
Okay.
My dad helped me roll a human fighter named Rose. I don't remember what else really happened. There was a carriage, there was a prince that gave me a flower. I was like an orphan from a circus or something like that. And up to that point, I had played a couple of like different like video games, and so I was like very versed in like the medieval fantasy vibe. And I was like, oh my god, this is so easy. I've got this. So I've got this down. I know my goblins, I know my skeletons, I know everything. And then he started describing this monster, and he was like, dog-like people. And I was like, what the F is that? That's not a goblin. And then I was introduced to gnolls for the very first time.
Oh
And
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
it was so fun.
That just kind of that kind of brings me to this question, and I'm gonna open up to both of y'all. What was your first OCs?
Oh man.
Ooh.
Like now, I'm not talking about like your first. I'm like the first one that like kind of like meant something to you. That meant like
something
that meant was very meaningful to you.
Okay, so
Oh no, you came up so loaded.
So this first experience I had with my dad led to me trying to teach my sister how to play 3.5. As a 10-year-old, it's so hard. I opened the book and I was like, I'm not gonna read. I was like, just throw some dice. I don't know how to make a character. Dad did it for me. But it did eventually lead me to joining forum roleplay. And that is where my OCs came to be.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
it's funny you say forum roleplay. I think for me it was roleplay on Tumblr. You know, play by posts, roleplay on Tumblr. Yeah, I think. Oh man, I haven't thought about this in forever, but I think I was really inspired by the Underworld series. So vampires, werewolves,
yes,
all that
classic.
stuff. Yeah. So I think
much latex.
So much.
Jesus Christ, yeah, latex and
so shiny.
Yes.
the white balance is completely blown out. I think my OC was this high school dude who was raised by werewolves but bitten by a vampire or something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he was like bitten by a vampire before he could get the werewolf like thing going, you know. So I don't. Other than that, I don't remember. It was edgy. It was like it was everything you. It was everything you'd expect. I don't. I'm gonna have to go back. I don't know if I have anything left. Yeah, I was not smart. I didn't save it in a document or anything. It was all on Tumblr and just, you know, how you can save like drafts and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I know people, if they know their Tumblr, like the original Tumblr, they can dig deep into those archives
to find it.
Yeah. I wasn't in the forum or on the Tumblr. Mine was chat room roleplay.
Okay.
I was on various roleplay servers, and one channel I was in was a channel that was like big on generation 2 of existing animes. And like, so everyone was playing the kids of characters from other anime series.
Oh, cool.
Wait, that's so cool. Hold on. Writing this down.
And the character I played, oh boy, I'm exposing myself with this. The character I played was the son of Rock Lee and another original character. And his whole thing was that he also had Rock Lee's disability where he couldn't use chakra. But the thing is, though, okay, now here is the twist. The OC was a member of the Hyuga family. So basically, this was Rock Lee and Neji's kid. And so but thing is, this kid, he couldn't use chakra, but his body was built so that he could perfectly see chakra and make the chakra flow through his body, but he just couldn't really do it right. So his story was him learning to slowly learn every single lotus and combine it with the Hyuga soft palm technique, where by the end of it, he ended up making a better version of Might Guy's Tora like tiger hunt attack, but that didn't kill his body because he was able to expel all the chakra through his ports like an exhaust engine. Because he's a Hyuga, he knows how to control his chakra like that.
That is so sophisticated.
I know, right? Here I am, vampires, werewolves. You got a whole family chart and chakra fucking.
Look, I went in deep with this character. There was a lot of the character was also me being really petty too, because there was someone who was also in the channel who made like the Naruto Gen 2 and the Sasuke Gen 2, and the Sasuke Gen 2s were like super like edgy. We are so highly important ourselves. If you play a Sasuke Gen 2, you have to have at least 3 paragraphs long explaining your link to the Uchiha clan and why you're so important to the Uchiha clan and Sasuke's big revival of the Uchiha name. And that was like, that's way too much.
I love that.
That's fun and embarrassing and just oh man, I love it. It's so pure. It's so good.
My first OC was just a hot vampire guy in a medieval fantasy roleplay. His name was Adrian Noir.
Adrian Noir.
I love that name. Oh my gosh.
This is how I know that. This is how I knew that I was queer at a very young age, because I would just play dudes on roleplay forums, and I would present as a mask person. I would use he, him pronouns, and I was just like, I'm just going to step into this whole realm of an identity, just perfectly crafted. And I just played hot vampire guy who eventually became the god of death. It was really cool.
Oh my gosh.
That is the god of death.
That is peak like for like early OC nonsense of like my character is just really hot. They have a unique quirk, and I don't know how it happens, but by the end of this, they're gonna be in some elevated position of authority.
Yep.
That makes no sense.
God of Death.
It also sounds like a basic Vampire the Masquerade character too.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
should set something up where we encourage people to play their first OCs.
Oh, you mean you don't already?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That'd
I
be
go
so
hard with that.
funny.
I go so hard. I agree with that so hard. I love play your OCs. Play those OCs you never got to play as a kid.
Yeah, your FOCs, first OC.
Play those OCs that you wrote your fanfics about.
Oh man, looking back, like I played this character for like over 5 years, and I'll be honest, the only thing I can really remember was just so the way that the forum was set up was basically we had our own sub forums, and we'd have like a temple because we're a god, right?
Yeah.
And we could set the description as whatever we want. And so all I did for like 5 years was roleplay, just being at the temple, appearing, sometimes not appearing, and like other people on the forum would like come into my sub forum and like, whatever their plot was,
Interesting.
if they
Oh.
needed something from the God of Death, they make a
Wow.
plea or something. So I just roleplayed a dude sitting on a chair
And
with
that's how you-
wine
And
for 5
for
years.
Stella, that's the hottest thing.
Yeah.
A dude sitting on a chair, all hot,
All
It also-
hot,
granting
shirt
wishes.
just ripped open. Yeah.
Just like one leg sitting violently up over
Absolutely.
the arm of the chair.
You know it, yeah. Just kind of flirting with the chair, walking in, hand going over the chair.
I feel like
For
that
no
is
reason.
that is something you have to, whenever you do forum roleplay, you have to explain how you're touching the furniture.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
have to. That is
There's
a rule.
so much that 5 years of that, WallE.
You ever you ever find yourself like sitting in your chair the way that your character's sitting, and then just typing out on a keyboard, just like, yes, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm granting wishes.
Yeah, especially as a smut enjoyer. Whenever I'm reading it and it's like, she smiled with her lower teeth, I'm just reading it. I'm just like,
Okay.
no, I smile with my lower teeth. Just trying different things as I'm reading and writing.
I can't. That's got to be from
that-
something, because I'm
Yeah.
trying it now, and
No, that hurts my my smile muscles.
Yep.
No.
How many of you listening to this
Yeah.
also tried to smile with your lower
send
teeth?
us send us a picture of you trying to do
Yeah,
this.
just send it to us.
Make it look
I-
believable.
You know what? Yes. Send it.
That's a
take
challenge.
a picture. Take a picture of yourself doing a lower, smiling with the lower half of your face, with the lower half of your
Just lower teeth.
just lower teeth, and send it to at one shot network on Blue Sky, and then do hashtag R&D, and there you go. Just remember that, y'all. Just remember that.
Nice. We'll
They're
figure
gonna
it
get
out.
so confused.
People are gonna get so confused.
People are like, what are they doing with their faces? What is this?
Oh my goodness. But Stella, you also, and you mentioned this in the games you play too, that you have a very cozy vibe. Like your
Yes.
vibe, and even just looking at the background, your vibes.
You
just,
look like you're in Enchanted Forest. I've said
Yes.
this multiple times.
Yes, that's always how we see your background. Like Enchanted Forest, cozy witch that you find in the forest that will make you tea, but then if you're mean to them, surprise, you're a frog.
Yes, 100%. I don't know. This is just trying to find joy in my everyday life. I spend a lot of time here at the computer. I do a lot of TTRPG stuff even when I'm not on stream. So this is just me just trying to touch grass as much as possible, even
I
if
was
it's
gonna say,
plastic.
yeah, just trying to exist.
Yeah, but as far as the cozy vibe goes, I did mention that I'll touch on that, and
Yeah.
it more or less comes from a place of like when I decided to try to explore TTRPGs as it is now, online and with other communities that exist out there. One of the things that I struggled with when I first came in was crippling anxiety and just
Yes.
not
Yay!
being sure of what's appropriate, what people expect, and what the norms are, or
Mhm.
how should I behave? What do I do? How do I not piss people off? And just sort of
Mhm.
like those mindsets and behaviorisms kind of led me down this like very long path of just trying to figure out what's the easiest way to get people into the space and feeling like they're prepared. So,
Mm.
for anyone that comes into any of my productions, you are probably quite familiar with the various information documents that I drop onto you. I tried to help walk you through the process step by step, and I just kind of approach it with the assumption that maybe you have no idea what a TTRPG is, you've never picked up a set of dice before, and you know what? I'll be your living tutorial. It's totally fine. I went through the
Yeah.
hardships of being on shows where unfortunately
Woo!
there was so much
Yeah.
Oh
confusion.
boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, especially back then too, you know, like
Hmm.
6 years ago, like massive influx of people trying to um get in the space and um scratch that, that itch, find community, and not having like terms of engagement, not knowing what
Hmm.
the conventions are for interacting. um
It was very much a very long series of, hey, let's throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks and see what works. And
Mhm.
it worked sometimes and sometimes it didn't, but it's very interesting to see the growth and change it has gone through.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like 5, 6 years ago, safety tools were not a thing.
no.
Oh, no.
No, and in fact, they were vilified.
Hmm.
They were essentially like, "What do you mean? Like, I know these people. I've known them for 20 years. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean we need to fill out a form?" And like, I think I just tried to help normalize it. I tried to uh, kind of bridge that gap of like, hey, like your feelings are valid, and I this is not, me saying or, demeaning or diminishing your relationship with those people, but like, safety tools doesn't have to be a form. It could just be
Yeah.
a
Hmm.
conversation, right? It could
Yeah.
just be, it can look like anything, whatever works for your table. And that's kind of the mindset that I've gone into TTRPGs of like, how do we make this more welcoming? How do we make this in a way where people feel like they have the tools they need in order to enjoy it as much as possible?
You remind me, like the way you explained that, of how you kind of make TTRPGs the space of welcoming like that. The way you describe it reminds me of this one, like, I'm not sure what I will say it's quote, but it's kind of like reminds me of this one scene from Haikyuu when they are talking about for new players of volleyball, they lower the volleyball net lower than it has to be. That way, anyone who is new can automatically be able to hit over the net. Because when you're new at something, you don't want to suffer too much frustration because that will turn you away from the hobby you're trying to get into. So, by making it easy going into it, it makes you want to stay there in the hobby and explore more. And I think that's kind of like what you're doing for that. It like I've been in productions with you where you ran things and you've always created this very welcoming aura, but also it was super professional. Like if I go into like a highly production TT or like AP, I know this is the same kind of experience I will get, this professionalism, the fact that you're checking in on us and everything. I know I'm going to expect that. And that is a very good thing for people who are new into the space because then they're going to want to go, I think I may want to do APs if all other APs are like this. Or maybe I want to start my own AP because I've seen how easy it is to make these set of rules, these guidelines to go into it. And I think that's a kind of like a very good testament to what you're doing.
Thank you. That's so kind of you to say. I will say that the professionalism, as you call it, is definitely intentional, especially as a facilitator and someone who people are putting a lot of trust and responsibility towards. It's important to remember that these feelings, these are real people that,
Mm.
I am engaging with. And you have to be able to exercise a level of bias and uh, lack of bias as well, for depending on the situation and what's happening. Essentially, like, WallE, you and I were friends, But, when it comes to safety tools and communication, you have to be able to put down boundaries and expectations and kind of spell out like, hey, this is the procedure of like what we would do in case there's an emergency. Like, you need to know that I take this seriously and that, I welcome this conversation. Like, the difficult conversations need to happen. And I present myself and I offer myself in a way where that I'm going to take it seriously. It's not a joke if you bring up like, hey, this thing is uncomfortable, and I will do everything in my power to try to empathize with it and try to find a compromise at the table, depending on what it is.
I think the beautiful thing about this is by doing the by existing in the space this way and helping others understand it, you normalize that, and more people going into or growing into the space can take what they learn from that and adapt it and grow it in a way that is productive for this hobby, this industry. Like it's so hard to land on a term to describe TTRPG, but
Yeah.
Yes.
this whole thing to grow it into something healthy
It's
and sustainable.
it's a very weird thing. I'm gonna touch on what you said there, Kappa. It's a very weird thing that we don't have a name for it, because there's so many hats to it.
Yeah.
I think because there's so if I think it's just like kind of we just go and calling, hey, it's just TTRPG in general.
Yeah.
No reason to call it like space or anything.
I think about this a lot because, as humans, we naturally want to categorize things.
Mhm.
We want to put things into neat little boxes. We want to put labels on everything, but TTRPG exists at highest levels of professionalism production. We have movies about TTRPG
Yeah.
created from TTRPG. We have shows, we have millions and millions of dollars going into it. But then you also have the people that are just at home throwing numbered rocks at each other and cheering whenever it's the big one. Like that is so pure and seems like it's super mega far off from that big stuff, but it's all encompassed. So calling it an industry feels weird because you're not really doing industry stuff down at that level. Space is just so generic. Community is really hard because you have various different levels of groupings. You have it's weird. It's not like
It is so weird. It is very weird. But I mean, I'm fine calling it whatever, people enjoy calling it.
yeah.
I would also say that Stella, when it comes to a lot of the shows you do, you have this really interesting knack of not only running the big stuff like D&D and the other big names, but you also have this really cool thing, kind of like going back to how you make the space welcoming for new players, new people, is that whenever there is a new game you are presenting to the world, not only do you say, hey, this is a new game we're playing, but are there new people who want to get into TTRPGs, want to play this game specifically? I'm only looking for those people. And I really like that. Can you explain like your process and reasoning behind that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the stuff that we do in this space, intent matters very deeply. Some people want to play just as a hobby. Some people want to make a career out of this. And with the understanding of like, why are you playing this? Why are you looking for these tables, looking for these games? They can lean into, lead into essentially your experience
Mhm.
and being aware of what you want from the table and being aware of what other people at the table want can help you figure out what can you get out of it long term, right? Because a lot of these TTRPGs end up being longer term things. When I put together a project, I try to think of the people that have never picked up a TTRPG before and trying to introduce them to something that I love inside and out. When it comes to TTRPGs, I feel like it is such an easy path to making connections with people in a way that is unique, sharing stories and creating something together. because it's not like writing a book, it's writing a book together.
Mm.
And with that, the reason that I focus on bringing in new people is it's super easy for us to just kind of like, oh, I can just tag in my friends. The effort of trying to invite people specifically to the space is trying to make space for them, trying to let them know, like, hey, this space, like, your preconceptions of it, whatever they are, maybe it's something different, maybe it's something more, especially because this space was predominantly cishet white male for a very, very long time. And just trying to essentially invite people in a way where it's like, hey, you can play. Literally anybody can play. And I feel like, especially having been in the space for several years now and having the opportunities that I've been lucky to have, it's my way of trying to pay it forward, especially because people made space for me to be where I am today. And I feel like it's kind of like trying to set an example of like, hey, these are things that maybe you can consider too for your games. Like,
Yeah, single-handedly, I feel that the population of people that I'm seeing on social media as it relates to TTRPG uh, is so much more. I'm trying to avoid the word diverse, but it complete. I think more whole after specifically your productions, what your calls for people to sign up if they have under this many followings, or if they haven't played TTRPG before, because then that way we get new fresh faces. And some of those some folks, they try it out, it's not really for them, and they just want to do this recreationally at home. Other folks, I know this from personal experience, try it once or twice and boom, they're in. They are in, and they start telling all their own wonderful, beautiful, amazing stories, from perspectives that for a very long time was very homogenized.
I remember very strongly what it was like to get started in the space, to get a taste of it, and to be like, oh, this is what I want to do with it. This is the way I want to go. What I thought I was going to be doing 6 years ago is completely different to what it is today. But along the way, I had those opportunities to get invited to different tables, to be invited into different spaces. And that came from an open-mindedness. I started with 0 followers. I started with 0 hours of playtime. And the longer that I've been in this space has given me a lot of perspective on what is important and what isn't important. And especially as like a content creator, I think that there is a lot of pressure to meet certain criteria or to hit certain benchmarks. And what I like to incorporate into my decision making of who's at the table is like, hey, what if we took the number of followers you have and throw it out the window? What if we try to look towards raw talent? We try to look towards the stories that people want to tell, the vibes that they want to cultivate, and we just do something with that instead of just focusing on the hard numbers or the people that we deem as safe or the people that we are familiar with.
What's marketable, what's easy, and every time you've done that, it's the production is so top, so quality, so enjoyable.
Thank you. That definitely comes from people just understanding that I want to make something earnest and that I'm inviting them because I want them to be there, right? It's not because of their following. It's not because of, external, very important, but auxiliary things, right? I'm very fortunate to be invited to so many spaces that where I can actually, have the reach to ask those people to even come have a conversation with me. Whenever I can, I try to also make time to speak with them. For example, earlier this year for AAPI month,
Mm-hmm.
I did not have the space or time to run games, but I did invite people just sort of as an open invitation of like, hey, if you want to talk to someone in this space, like, let's have a 20-minute conversation, break ice, and especially geared towards people that I have never talked to before. And so, AAP month this year, I was able to talk to about 40 people
Oh wow.
Yeah.
that I have never seen or never heard of before. And, you know, it was just a really casual conversation of like, hey, what interests you in this space? And if they had anything actionable, such as like, I want to work on a zine, my very first zine
Mm-hmm.
ever, or, you know, they're like, I'm an artist, like, how do I get into the space? I gave them a little bit of advice, or I connected them with someone that would be better off giving advice, depending on the field. And it's stuff like that. It's extremely time consuming, definitely.
Oh no, I bet it is. I
But
mean,
I feel like it's so much more worth it because I get an idea of who they are, and I also take notes about what the things interest them, and I try to keep them in mind for like, hey, if I need a guy, I have a guy. I don't need to go towards the top industry professional, you know. I can reach out to someone who is ready to prove themselves or someone who wants to try
Yeah.
something.
it's very much you kind of like make it known that hey, just because they have big numbers doesn't exactly mean they have the resources you need. There are probably some people out there who have those exact resources ready to go that kind of get ignored because they don't have those numbers. And it's really cool that you're doing that, just saying, hey, they're all around you. You can grab out. You just got to know who to ask.
I have huge respect for everyone who's put in the time and that have the
Mm-hmm.
huge followings and all of the hard work that they've put in. Of course I respect them and I think it's really cool what they're doing. But at the same time, if no one is looking back from the direction that we came from, how do we expect anyone to follow us? How do we expect to have more colleagues and peers in the future? My intention with everyone that I meet is I want to try to bring you into the rooms that I'm in, you know? And by doing that, we're just going to make the space even more diverse, even more mindful, and full of stories that otherwise would not get told.
That's some One Piece shit right there. You know, that's what that is.
My
Get-
dream is to get everyone in the same room. Hold on. I'm in the middle of Whole Cake Island. Hold on. With the context of that, that's actually kind of messed up. Hold
I
on.
know, right? See, no, because it's really much like you saying that. It's like, you know what? Depending on which character in One Piece and saying that has some
Yeah.
some deep merit to it. Sorry, Kappa. This is now turning into a One Piece podcast.
I know Luffy.
Great.
Yeah.
You're on the right path.
You're
The
on the
Straw
right.
Hats. I think I can name most of them.
Okay, go. Without looking at my background.
Okay. I can't see. It's too small on my screen.
Okay,
So
okay.
you got
Luffy.
you got Luffy. I said Luffy. You got Nami. You got Zoro.
Mm-hmm.
He was Zolo in like.
Well,
Cartoon
there's a
Network or
whole
something.
there's a whole story.
There's a whole thing there. Yeah. Okay.
No spoilers.
You got Chopper.
My boy.
Your boy. I know Chopper mostly because of he had like a weird like a fan club in my high school. So his face was everywhere.
You know what? That
But-
tracks
Yeah.
Chopper.
Yeah.
We need more of those. I have a little Chopper shrine.
Oh my, you would.
Thing is, when you started saying you were watching One Piece, in my mind, it's like, I know exactly. They are going to fall in love with Chopper.
The funniest thing was, so I bought a Chopper hat off of Etsy years ago, and it was crocheted. And when it got to my house, I was severely disappointed because it didn't look anything like the pictures, and I was crushed. And my mom looked at it and said, I can make one, but better. And I was like, okay. And then so we went and bought yarn, and I showed her
Amazing.
pictures, and she made a Chopper hat for me. And while she was making it, she was like, "What is this, by the way?" And I had to my mom, whose primary language is Korean and her English is not really very strong. I had to describe to her what One Piece was, and I was like, "Okay, so it's a Japanese cartoon that's probably for kids, but it's a very, very deep story. All you need to know, specifically for Chopper, is that there are two very important things in this show. Everyone has a dream, and everyone has a treasure. Chopper is a reindeer, and he eats the human fruit and becomes a little guy. And she's just like, my mom doesn't watch anime. She's like, okay. And then I'm like, all right, well, so you have to look at it this way. He basically becomes a person without bias. He is someone who is born just kind of like purely innocent, right? Doesn't have like all the trauma and, well, no, sorry. He has trauma. Everyone has trauma in this show. But like, not in the same way that someone living in this world from birth to adulthood might. It's a very different perspective. And his dream is to become the best doctor in the world. And I had to explain to her like what the X means and like what, I went into it and she was just like, okay, all right. And she made me this dope hat. And then I ended up like, several years later moving out. And then one day she messaged me and she said, I made another one so we can match.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so pure.
That is so wholesome.
So
I can't. All right, Kappa.
I thought you were.
You thought I forgot? You thought I forgot?
No. Okay. You got Usopp. You have he's like the sniper guy. You have Sanji, Mr. Kicking, but also cooking. Okay, that's all the live action One Piece characters that I remember. Okay, there's a skeleton dude. Rook?
Yep.
Brook?
Yep. There you go. Yep.
Is he the one with the plural name? It's Brooks. It's like multiple
No,
Brooks.
it's just Brook.
It's just Brook?
It's just Brook, yeah.
Okay. You get Franklin? Frankie?
There is. Yep.
Frankie? Okay, yeah. He's got like big ass arms and no pants, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's actually it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
No. There's
No,
more.
there
There's
is.
more.
There is.
I know
more.
there's more.
I know
there's more. You can't lie to me.
But it's more because it will go into spoiler territory.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is more, but
okay.
Be spoilers. But yes,
okay.
You did it. You did it.
My partner loves One Piece, and so I've been trying to like know it, but I'm scared of the commitment to watching the anime or reading the manga. There's a lot.
Let me share something with you, and you tell me how you feel. Do you feel more motivated or less motivated? Okay, there's a baby out there. A person is putting their baby in front of a screen. Of One Piece, making the baby watch One Piece. So that means either this baby's gonna beat you.
Oh, damn.
Or you can beat the baby.
Okay, the way you say that though, this baby will never beat me in Naruto knowledge. I'm a Naruto scholar, and I'm okay with it.
We're not talking about Naruto.
I know, and I understand that, but I like myself. I feel fulfilled with my own thing, and I'm willing to let people shower me in knowledge from One Piece, and I will. And that's just a nice.
You know what?
We have a nice conversation right here, just based on the idea, based on the fact that I don't know One Piece.
You know what, Kappa?
I'm making connections.
We as your friends are always there to deliver One Piece knowledge, or to deliver One Piece knowledge to you whenever you ask, and you can enjoy the series through us via osmosis as we, collectively refer back and forth with each other how much we love things. However, you're still a bitch for letting a baby beat you.
Can I tell you about my favorite thing about One Piece?
Oh, yes, please.
In regards to the length of it?
Yes.
So I love that One Piece is so long. I'm like 800 something right now with episodes. Because it's so long, it's kind of like a TTRPG campaign. You get context and you get history. And with any campaign that you play in TTRPGs, the more context and history you have, the more significance smaller things have.
Mhm.
Yes.
A big selling point I always say for One Piece is for people who play TTRPGs. I always say reading One Piece is like reading someone's campaign from start to finish and watching characters go from level 1 to level 20.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is the best way to get someone who is into TTRPGs to watch One
Like
Piece.
in One
Yeah.
Piece, if someone has a sake cup, that means something significantly.
Mm-hmm.
The act of pouring sake, the act of sharing sake, and it's like it's just a drink, right? And
Yeah.
if you watch one episode, like that's not going to mean anything, but over the context of like 800 something episodes, you're like, oh shit, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, yes. I've heard this before, and it's one of those things where you are rewarded for going through
Mhm.
hundreds and hundreds of episodes. That it's a living history. Like it's Oda, right?
Yeah,
Eiichiro
Echiro
Oda.
Oda, yeah.
Yeah. Oda is a very good writer in that regard, a very good mangaka in that regard of um keeping a consistent world and rewarding people for paying attention and having this knowledge. It pays off.
It's a
Hundreds of
generational
episodes.
anime.
It
Yeah,
is.
pays off hundreds of, and that's something that I don't think Naruto has done very well. There's certain things, but far and away, I think my opinion of it is that it could be better, and I think the way people talk about One Piece is that it does do that. It's the better form of this
Mhm.
sort of reward system from consuming hundreds and hundreds of hours.
It's he has to kind of go back with the whole like TTRPG mindset. He has a very much of a GM's mindset of how he world creates. He will focus everything on this group of character as they're going through the story, but he's actively constantly thinking of, okay, what else is happening while these adventurers are having their adventure, because this world is not just a dead static world.
Yeah.
And he will have these moments where he cuts away from the story. It's like, hey, we're going to focus 5 chapters just to see what's going on in the rest of the world, and then we're going to cut back to what's going on.
And then we're going to
And-
make a movie called Love Letter. It has nothing to do with the Straw Hats.
Nothing to do. And then
So
you're going to
good.
cry, and you're
I'm
gonna
going to cry.
I watched Love Letter with my partner, and she was like, I can feel her tearing up and like being emotional over this, and I was like, oh, I feel like I don't deserve to watch this because I didn't put in the time to appreciate it. But yeah, like I did watch, and it's beautiful, a beautiful story. Such a great way to check in on the world that you're building without focusing on the main characters. They still exist. They have an impact on the world, and it moves without them. But it felt so alive, you know?
Yeah. I feel like that is the sign of any good piece of media, where if I'm kind of like reading it or watching it, that makes me sit back and go like, yeah, but what's goes on with the rest of the world? Like, I want to know more about that character's little city that we just left, you know? And I think more pieces of media need to take that risk and just decide to show, hey, nothing's wrong. Let's just take a break from the main characters once in a while and show what's going on around everything else.
My favorite type of TTRPG story to play in is the heroes and the superheroes are out doing that stuff over there. I'm just here trying to live my life and deal with the consequences of living in Gotham, or like living in Middle Earth as just someone from Rohan or something.
Okay, when are we making this? When are we making this AP where we're playing as the kids of the main heroes and they're off doing stuff and we're just hanging out?
I am here for that, where we play like the generation 2 of some anime series.
I'll do it. I'll put in the work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
But they have to be in the flavor of our FOCs.
Yeah.
That's I feel that.
No.
Oh my! Could you imagine the casting call for that? It's like, hey guys, I'm starting a new TTRPG AP, but the big focus is on growth from youth to adulthood, learning the intricacies about your own psychological and dealing with your traumas. You have to play your most unhinged first OC.
I think the reason, so I wasn't gonna ask this, but now I have to,
Yes, you do.
because you
Please
said
do.
that. I was gonna ask, why do you think you made your first OC be what they are?
Oh, ooh,
And it's like,
ooh.
I think the reason that I made mine Mr. Adrian Noir, God of Death, was because in high school I was a ghost. I was not popular. I had very, very few friends, and I just wanted to be the hot guy. So I think that's that coming out.
You know what? I think specifically for that OC, I think I definitely was because when I was young, I always felt like the odd person out, but it was very much like I had a lot of focus on me, but I was still the odd person. So I always felt like I had to try extra hard to meet the expectations of everyone around me by either working extra hard or just being a people pleaser. So I think that's where that came from, of like a character who's very broken, but has everyone looking at them, expecting them to do great things.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I know exactly how I landed on my first
Watch.
OC.
It's not going to be as deep as as us two had. It's going to be It's going to be watch.
I mean, oh man, okay, hold on. Do I follow the funny, or do I go on with this very serious thing
Do
that
the serious thing.
Do the serious.
Break
Okay.
our hearts.
Yeah.
I grew up in a very, very religious household, very restrictive, very conservative. And I saw the Underworld movie and it blew my mind. But I was always taught that like this kind of stuff was evil and bad for you, but like why, you know? And so when I watched it, I was like, this is really, really cool. This is intricate. This has drama. This has stakes. And so I wanted a part of that. I wanted to, but it was very, very taboo, you know, in my household. And so I had doing that was sort of my way of exploring, you know, what outside of an extremely religious household, what storytelling, what identity and self-actualization could be like.
That's really cool.
That is
it's
really
like
cool.
a creative act of rebellion.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just, now this is just something I want to ask in general. It feels like just POC households in general, it always feels like it is very much this, in general, it feels like a very much, this is kind of a taboo thing when it came to tabletop growing up. It felt like that seems to be like the common thing across, at least for my generation at least, that it was a very common thing of things like TTRPGs, certain comic books, certain pieces of media was, no, this is taboo, you shouldn't get into it, kind of thing.
I can speak to that a little bit. Especially growing up in my area, there was a whole big push from our parents who immigrated from wherever they had grown up to the States to assimilate, to not stand out, to be part of the system, so that you don't close off opportunities to be successful, whatever successful means later on. And so things like Dungeons and Dragons, things like comics, things like anime that were not part of what was socially normal. And so that, at least for my household, for a couple of friends growing up, that was bad. That was something to be shunned. Why do that when you can sign up for, you know, football or band or something that will propel you further into the society that we live in, you know? So I feel like that has a part in it, especially for POC households, especially if the household has a parent or a set of parents or a guardian figure who immigrated into the States, into Western society.
Yeah, I definitely felt that in my household too from my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad, who's white, was the nerd,
Mm.
and he actually grew up in the area where D&D was invented.
Whoa.
So
Ooh.
he got into it when he was like 10 years old too. So
Yeah.
he's a
Mm.
lifelong enjoyer of
Yeah.
TTRPGs,
That's dope.
which
We're
is
gonna.
why I was able to get into it as well because I was exposed to it. But it it came with its difficulties too. My mom disagreed with it a lot,
Mhm.
and that was definitely from the religious background and wanting to assimilate, as you mentioned. And I was just fortunate because I happened to move around a lot. I came from like a military family,
Mhm.
so being able to essentially kind of like bounce between Korea and different parts of the United States. Everything was just kind of loosey goosey, and I was able to pursue the things that I wanted,
Yeah.
essentially.
Mhm.
It'd keep the nerdiness alive.
Yeah. There was more less expectation for things like that, but expectations elsewhere.
And I
Yeah.
think that my dad did a really good job of kind of setting the foundation for it too. Because when I was a kid, uh, I used to have to play after school. I used to have to play an hour of piano and have to write for an
Oh
hour, but I could write
no.
anything that I wanted. And
Um.
I had to
Ah,
read for an hour, but I could read anything that I
there it
wanted.
is. Yeah.
And it's because of those things that like
Yeah.
I love writing and reading now because, it was something that was expected of me that I had to fulfill, but I could do it in my own way.
Nice. Yeah. I think that would.
It's
Yeah.
this creative. Like I love that because it's just you're going to have this creative outlet and providing that structure. You know, as your kid, you don't see it, but then you're building up you're putting together these building blocks. You're building up this sort of um muscle memory, I guess, like
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
memory, I guess, on what it's like to be in that sort of state,
Yeah.
and you crave it, you learn it.
And then you write your first fan fiction when you're 10 years old
Yeah. Exactly.
with
The
with Pokemon,
With
where
Pokemon.
I
I have
invented
to
my
find
own
it.
Pokemon. Oh, it doesn't
Oh,
exist on the internet.
oh no.
No, it doesn't exist
Okay.
on the internet because I wrote it with a freaking Crayola marker on loose leaf
Yes.
yes.
paper. And
Perfect.
I was so proud of it. I showed it to my teacher and she's like, "Uh-huh. Yeah." And it was about me riding a Lapras going into a cave to meet my new best friend who was named Mewa, who's just Mewtwo but
Mew.
pink.
Yes.
I love that
That's
so
all
Yes.
that
much.
happened.
Yes.
Yes. Oh gosh. The only fanfic that I got so hard into with me and my friends is that we wrote a Digimon fanfic that we pass around
Mm.
with each other and we would continue the story.
Oh, that's so cool.
My character was the Agumon one. I had the Agumon, so
Crest the
I
courage.
was the goggle boy.
Goggle boy.
Because I wore goggles in high school.
I love
For
that.
that reason, you're thinking.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But
No, genuinely, that is really cool.
Yeah.
As
yeah,
a
no,
kid,
yeah. I look, I wore goggles and fingerless gloves in high school because of Digimon.
oh man, because
Yeah.
I moved around a lot, I actually graduated in the States, but I had spent most of my childhood in Korea. When I
Mhm.
moved back, I used to dress like a Japanese schoolgirl at school, and no one talked to me.
No.
No,
No.
no one talked to me. So I wore like the plaid skirt, I wore the button up, but like opened up. I wore a tie, but like loose. I wore leg
Oh.
warmers.
You went full leg warmers and everything?
Like
We
looking
would have
back,
been best friends.
We would have
yeah,
been best friends. Oh no,
yeah.
we would. I'm certain. And this is something I always tell people that after I vibe with them very well, like, oh no, we would have been best friends in
Yeah.
high school.
I
Like
was
us
just
three, we would have been best friends in
it
high
was
school.
just unfortunate. Like I went to like a predominantly white school when in high
Mm.
school after Korea, so they didn't know what to do with me. I don't blame them.
That is look, I
Most of
feel
those
like
kids never left the state, like,
Yeah.
and they're like,
No.
this Asian kid, there's only 3 Asian kids in this entire school, and like wearing leg warmers.
I was like, we can't approach them about it because it's obviously we're being offensive if we do.
Yeah, it was something else. But
Oh,
we would have all been best friends
oh no,
pretty
I
we
think
would have.
so.
We would have
Absolutely.
been totally been best friends. Probably talking about which Digimon we want to kiss.
And we would have written 20 fan fictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here just picturing what high school would have been like if we had all been, you know, in high school at the same
Yeah.
time. Or
Wait. Okay, so we got an image of WallE. We got an image of me. What was your
yeah,
vibe?
that's
Oh
true.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
High school.
So I looked like I was ready to play in a jazz band at all times. I
Oh
had
my god.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what was special about my pants, but not really. They were just like torn at the bottom because they were just slightly too long for me. I had to
So
go into them.
were they the trip jeans? But they were not. So they were trip jeans, but not trip jeans.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then I would have like a button-up shirt, a tie that, like you said, like kind of loose.
Mhm.
And I think for second and third year, I had a fedora, a
Nice.
trilby, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't know how to play instruments. I just looked like I did. And then I think in junior year they had guitar. They all started offering guitar classes, and so I took them. So I had a guitar case with me, looking like I was going to my next show, my next gig,
I love
constantly.
That is so cool.
That is. I can see that so vividly of just you with this fedora button up. I can see it. It's very vivid.
I'll send
Mhm,
pictures.
mhm.
Yes.
Excellent.
I wore definitely all the pants I wore were definitely way too long and big for me because I was very tall for my age. So I would intentionally buy bigger clothes on me so I wouldn't look too tall. So you know, whenever you would see whenever there's like a high school like cartoon show and there's that one kid who's really tall but always wearing like really long sleeves all the time, that was me. I was
Oh,
yeah.
I was also
see.
really tall in high school.
Same.
Yeah, I hit my adult height when I was like 11 or 12 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I was very clumsy, very tall. All the other people in my grade were shorter than me.
Oh.
So pretty much what we've gathered from this canon that is this weird like anime that is us being in high school together. Stella, you're playing the fun like the fun like fun fancy free girly that wears like the wears a plaid skirt and everything, the leg warmers, but also has a bat nearby that they hit things with.
I used to design my own clothes in high school too. I used to
There it
like
is.
cut up t-shirts and sew it together. I did the thing like, oh my god, this was so My Chemical Romance.
Yes.
But
yes.
My Chemical
let's go.
Romance was not cool at the time though.
No, it
And
wasn't.
So I had this like black and white striped t-shirt and like I cut the back off and I got like parts from a red shirt and I sewed it on so I could make like a bow tie in the back. And then I cut out a red heart and I like stitched it on the front here. It was really cool. No one at school thought it was cool.
Yep, that's the character. You are the punk rock plaid skirt wearing girly. That's the character. That's your character. Kappa,
That
your
shit would slap so hard right now. It would
It
be so
would,
popular
Yeah,
right now.
everyone would be
would.
rocking it.
you
yeah.
you were definitely ahead of the time. You were definitely ahead of the curve.
We know this.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
true.
Oh, obviously. Kappa, your character is the way too cool dude, like the really cool guy. That's your character. But the secret is that you're not really that cool, but you play it off really well, and you have enough confidence in yourself that you make it work.
I mean,
but that
that's
everyone
just my
comes,
life.
yeah, and everyone just happens to come to you for advice, and you're like, yeah, I'll help you out, and you have no idea to help you out, at least into
It's
wacky
called
shenanigans.
aura. That's what the youngins call it these days.
Aura, not aura. Boomer aura.
Boomer aura. Oh no, I hate that.
I do hate that. And then me, I
And then
suppose.
you.
Yeah, me. I am the tall, silent, like nonverbal one. I'm the tall, nonverbal one that always wears the goggles, the fingerless gloves, and the really long sleeves, but always has the right thing at the right time. Like they pull it out of their pocket. It's like one of those endless pockets kind of thing. And and like if this is like kind of like going with like the slice of life gag manga, because that's how I'm kind of visualizing
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
And when they're like, I'm the source for a lot of the gags that I just pull out random objects from my pocket and hold it up, and that's the joke.
The oh man, what anime is it?
Like if I'm picturing big. Have you ever seen the anime Sket Dance?
No.
Mm-mm.
That okay, so it's made by the same guy who did Gintama, and it's about three kids who run this a club where it's like we'll help you out with any problem you may need. One character is like the cool, confident leader guy. The other character, she's a girl who's a former delinquent that's trying to be good, and the third one is the very autistic coded one who talks only through a computer. So that's the vibe I'm getting
Okay.
with us three.
Okay.
You know, that's the vibe I'm getting with us.
So we're tapping ourselves for the live action remake of this.
Yeah, we are.
So we can
I love
fulfill
it.
our life.
And what's even funnier
Hire
is,
us.
hire us. We'll be in that series. Oh my gosh. Well, Stella,
I'll break out the leg warmers.
you have to have leg warmers. You have to go full with it though.
I have a set and I can't find them ever since I moved. I'm like, oh man, there have been some cold nights that I want and that I need these leg warmers for, but I can't find them.
I feel like me of all people should have leg warmers because I have giant legs.
You are very tall.
I am very tall. Oh boy. But Stella, this has been a wonderful conversation with you, having good times with you, and just finding out more about you and the things you enjoy and everything like that. So can you just regale us of where we can find you on this big old internet world?
Absolutely. You can find me over on Twitch as Stellaluna, and then on all other social media platforms, I'm Stellaluna TV or Stellaluna.tv. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited for the AP that we're going to bring together with our FOCs. You can find that in stores near you soon. Feel free to hit me
One
up.
shot,
if you
Daddy.
wanna
One
talk
shot.
Yeah, Daddy One Shot. Listen to us. We want to do a fun little AP. So keep track of that.
I'll do funny voices.
But yes, this has been wonderful. Kappa, you have any closing words for us before we go?
If you want to see what I look like in high school, check out Patreon.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, that is a clue to our future Patreon. So right there. But yeah, this has been R&D with Kappa and WallE. I am WallE. That has been Kappa. If you enjoy us, continue following us on the One Shot Network. Just continue with these. They have great shows. Look for us for future episodes. So remember, stay rad, stay dope, hug your pets, and we'll see you next time.
Woo! Nailed it.
I nailed it. I did it this time. This episode was edited by Papito. You can find him on Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram. Thanks for listening to the R&D podcast with Kappa and WallE.